It's 104 days to the 2023 presidential election, and the candidates are traveling the length and breadth of the country to secure the support of Nigerians. Good afternoon and welcome to Standpoint. I'm Ibrahim Shita. Now, presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, is optimistic that the crisis rocking the party will be resolved soon. He disclosed this after his visit to former military head of state Ibrahim Babangida in Minna. Atiku is at loggerhead with Governor Nyesom Wike of Rivers State and 4 other PDP governors over their insistence that Senator Iyorchia Ayu, the national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, should vacate his position for a southerner to replace him. The PDP presidential candidate says he's open to negotiations with the governors. We'll talk this through by speaking via Zoom from Delta State is the Commissioner for Information, Charles Aniagwu. Thank you so much for joining us on Standpoint this afternoon.
Thanks for having me. Good afternoon, viewer.
Right. A lot of Nigerians have been looking forward to seeing how the PDP will resolve the crisis because it's been lingering for a while now, and it looks like this is something that might or may not come to an end. Talk to us about the latest, because this is a presidential candidate who's talked about uniting the country. And a lot of Nigerians are asking, if you can't unite your party, how would you be able to unite Nigerians? So let's start from where your party is at in terms of resolving this crisis.
Well, I can assure you that we have made a whole lot of progress since the last time we spoke. You recall in the course of my interaction with Precious Amayo the last time I appeared on your station, I made it clear that the train have left the station, and that in the course of our movement, we are going to continue to stop at different train stations with a view to picking up passengers, both those who are a little hesitant at the moment and those who are also possibly going to see reason to join the PDP as a party that have got what it takes to recover Nigeria from where we are at the moment. And so what you are saying is also in line with what I told you then. We have also made it clear that, as the name of the party implies, People's Democratic Party, that it's about people, it's about individuals, just like it is in democracy, having plural views. And in such setting, you are going to have divergent views, you are going to have opposing views, you are also going to have views that is in accordance with the thinking of certain groups. And that what makes democracy tick is not even much of good governance, but it's about the fact that individuals are very, very free to ventilate both their grievances and, of course, express themselves freely in any democratic setting. That's the difference between democracy and other forms of government. And so what is at play in the PDP is that principle of democracy where plural view is well tolerated. So these are other leaders of the party who have also contributed immensely to the growth of the party, somehow along the line, had what looked like divergent view. And the principal at the moment, Atiku Abubakar, who is the leader of our party, being the presidential candidate of the party, do agree with a number of issues that I have raised. I have also made it clear that the only point of difference is the timeline, that in terms of asking the position of the chairman to move from the north to the south, that nobody is opposed to it. But what we're saying is that we need to do it at the right time so that we do not inflict injury on our desire to be able to reclaim the mandate which we lost in 2015 and bring back Nigeria to winning ways, because the last 7.5 years have been very, very excruciating for most Nigerians. And PDP, being the only national party with a national spread across the 774 local government and indeed across the 36 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory, is the only party that have got what it takes to be able to bring back Nigeria to winning ways. And so we don't have any challenge. We are happy that a number of other well-meaning Nigerians are coming in with a view to impress it upon our governors to see the need for us to move in one direction. We have also said that our desire to move in one direction is not for the purpose of just winning election. It is for the purpose of bringing back Nigeria together, because in the last 7.5 years, our diversity have received a very, very dirty blow. And the bruises are very, very visible across the length and breadth of this country because of the mismanagement of our diversity by the All Progressive Congress. About what we're going to do as a party that understands that in unity and in diversity, we're able to come together, just as it is in our old national anthem, which says that though tribe and tongue may differ, but in brotherhood we stand. The Atiku Okowa ticket is that ticket that is going to bring back that brotherhood. Where when you see a man from far Yobe, he will be able to look at his brother from Bayelsa as his fellow Nigerian, and not a question of saying that I am from Eda Fulani or that I'm from any other ethnic groups, or possibly to say that, yes, you are Ijo. And then in which case the ethnic groups will fall to the back, take the back seat, while Nigeria will occupy the top of the table. And that's what the Atiku Okowa ticket is going to bring back to this country. So
well, it remains to be seen how that is going to be realistic. But then the former President Goodluck Jonathan was actually touted to wading into these crises of the PDP. But then he said that the G5 governors are not working for him, that they are not doing his bidding, that he has no grudge with former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. Talk to us about this. What is the stance of former President Goodluck Jonathan? At the time when the APC primaries was on, it was as if he was going to contest until later on where we didn't see him contest. So where exactly is he on this matter?
If you are used to enjoying pounded yam, you will notice that as you approach the bowl, you will notice that the more you approach the pounded yam, the possibility of seeing some seed in that where pounded yam is possible. And so what that means is that as we make progress in our democratic joining, the individuals will begin to see the need to engage in certain form of alignment and realignment. At the beginning, just as it is now, there are individuals who will begin to look at the different options as to who are those coming on board. What is their possibility? How much reach do they have across the length and breadth of this country? We are made up of 36 states, created in the course of time after our independence. And these 36 states possibly is peopled by different ethnic groups that may have different persuasion in either political, religious, or otherwise. And so the previous leaders, inclusive of Jonathan, may have been able to sit back to look at those who are taking a shot at the #1 seat in the country. And then they are able to put them together. Whether we like it or not, there are 4 front runners at the moment. Talking about Atiku Abubakar, Asiwaju of Lagos, the Kwakwasu of Kano, and of course, our brother Peter Obi from the Southeast. Any sane Nigeria at the moment will now have to look at these individuals, look at them from who they are as persons, look at them from the parties they operate in, look at the ability to be able to unite Nigerians. The issues at stake for the president is not just one. A president should be able to somehow cut across the different regions. And so you must put so many things on the table because it's just like somebody who is going to be engaged in a 9-unit course. If he's very, very intelligent in one particular course, that course is not going to save him to be able to cross over. He needs to be able to have credit points in a number of those courses. That is what a president in the case of Nigeria should look like. So these former leaders may have been able to sit back, look at these different candidates, who is likely going to be able to go into exam that in this particular course, different course like we did when we wrote our WAEC, you have about 9 subjects, and then you have different points that is attached to these different subjects. And at the end of the day, if you are too good in English and you are bad in mathematics, you are not likely going to gain admission in any university. And so the leaders may have been able to look at the abilities of these 4 presidential candidates that are more like front runners as to who is that candidate that understands English, mathematics, biology, chemistry, and possibly physics, then mix it with a level, some elements of agriculture and geography, that is able to now have 6 credits in the 9 different subjects that can afford to take Nigeria out of the woods. Not a question of the one that could possibly score 100% in mathematics and score 0 in the other subjects. In taking a look at that, then they can now begin to engage in some form of realignment. And I can assure you that in all this, Atiku Abubakar stands very, very tall, far above the other candidates, because he's that candidate that has got a number of credit points in that exam. So that may have explained the position you are saying now with respect to former leaders who understand this country in and out.
And that has not effectively answered the question as to where the former President Goodluck Jonathan stands, because we know that some time ago, or looking at the politics of things, he probably is not in good terms with former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. And a lot of Nigerians are actually wondering, okay, fine, it could be an elder statesman, but then where does his sympathy lie? Does it lie with the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, or is it looking elsewhere? Being a former member, or being a member, the last time we checked, a member of your party?
Now, let me first of all correct the impression you just created. Neither the former President Goodluck Jonathan nor the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar ever told you that they are not in talking terms. So when you say that they are not in good terms, I wouldn't know where you got that information from. Perhaps that is just within the imagination of those who may have speculated it before you, or possibly you just want to put it across.
It's not my making. It is not my making. It's there in the media. It's there everywhere to read.
I said both of them, none of them, neither of them, except you have to read it for me to say where Atiku told you Jonathan is my enemy, or where Jonathan told you Atiku is my enemy. I want to see that. Now, what I said, in case you don't understand, is that individuals at the beginning may have been able to maintain certain positions. And as the race continues, they now begin to examine what are those possibilities of who can solve the many problems that confront us today as a country. The 4 front runners I mentioned to you are persons that are very well known to both former leaders and a host of other Nigerians today, including the youths. And so as we make progress, just like the analysis I gave you with the pandemic, you begin to see the need to engage in realignment. You said the former president, Goodluck Jonathan, may have shown some level of body language in a particular direction. And that now, what you are seeing is looking as if it's moving in another direction. That movement, if what you have said is true, is possibly because he have also gone in to be able to take some level of analysis of the situation we find ourselves, i.e., the very, very poor state of the economy, the very disturbing state of our unity, the very challenging state of our education, the very uncoordinated manner that our economy is being run at the moment, and of course, the issue of insecurity, which has become the bane of development across the length and breadth of this country. And so if anybody is engaged in realignment, or that those who are agreed and are seeing the need for them to come to the round table for the purpose of dialogue, it is possible that they have done all this. So there's nothing wrong. Whether the former vice president is now coming, former president, have now seen the need to move wholly with his former party. Don't forget, it was on the platform of the PDP that Goodluck Ebele Jonathan became a deputy governor. It was on the platform of the PDP that he became a governor. On the platform of the PDP, he became a vice president. On the platform of the PDP, he became an acting president. And to top it up, on the platform of the PDP, he became a president. The Goodluck Jonathan, I know, is not an ungrateful human being. He will want to also pay back his party and encourage those who are the founding fathers of the party. Of course, you know Atiku belongs to that class. So if you see Jonathan having to support a member of the party that brought him to limelight and took him to the zenith of administration in this country, it will not be out of place. In any case, right, that is what is expected. And to round it up on this particular aspect, it will be in the interest of every Nigerian to see that the PDP survives, because today the PDP is the GOP in Nigeria. That's the good old party. Where if indeed we are in search of party ideology, we will need to take steps to ensure that parties survive, and not just that we continue to have new parties and at the end of the day, we continue to rise and fall, rise and fall. Let us begin to move in a direction that will not have parties that stand for the purpose of enduring ideology that will endure the course of time.
Mr. Aniagwu, well, the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, that's the candidate of your party, actually met with the former head of state, Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, where he said that the crisis within the party will be resolved soon. Would you like to bring us up to the minute information or the update as regards this, the former head of state wading into this crisis? How far has it gone?
What that tells you is that everybody in the party, particularly the leadership of the party at the moment, is very much interested in having a united front. I've also made it clear because of this conversation that what we are doing is not just a case of having to unite members of the party just to win election. That Atiku is desirous of moving with all Nigerians, even those who are not within the party, because it's very, very clear on one of his agenda, and the 5-point agenda, which is to unify our country, that unity, lack of unity, has caused us a whole lot of problem in this country, including the economic challenges we have, including the security challenges that we have, including our inability to address many things that we needed to address. Because if we are that united and that this administration, the APC-led administration, have been able to bring us together, the appointment of individuals to strategic positions would have taken the color of the diversity that we have in this country. And so the meeting with former president, military president Ibrahim Babangida is still in line with that desire to bring all Nigerians together. Atiku have also said that when by the grace of God he wins and becomes the president of this country, that he's going to form a government of national unity. Perhaps I may need to take you back to 1999 when he and Obasanjo won the election. They brought in people from APP, they brought in people from AD. You recall Bola Ige of blessed memory, and a host of other persons who were in the other political parties. They brought them on board for the purpose of having a Nigerian government and not a sectional government. So the meeting that you are seeing is in furtherance of the desire of the stoppage of our train that have left the station to begin to pick up passengers as we make progress.